Okay, folks. Well, I solved my overcooling problem. So here it is. I have no idea what it's off of. I got it at the local salvage yard. It's called Bill's Boneyard if you're in the Salt Lake area. It's a good place to go if you need random odds and ends. Literally, he had buckets of this stuff, and took me a minute to find one that would work. This one does not have a bypass. I thought that would be an issue, but upon further inspection of the thermostat itself, it's got an internal pathway here that allows coolant to flow, so you don't hot shot the head with cold water. So yeah, the GPI radiators work too well, as I mentioned in a previous video. So my engine temperature would fluctuate from 180 all the way down to the 130 range. Right now the motor's it's not focusing, but yeah, so no more risk of cold seas. Took it down the road. Normally it would drop like 30 some odd degrees. This time it only dropped like 5. So this thing's working, and I'm very, very pleased about it. Like I said, I have no idea what it's off of, so if any of you do know, please leave a comment below so I can help other people do this and help locate this in case they don't have a salvage yard nearby. But yeah, so the cooling system's done. It works great, and it shouldn't need a bypass. Maybe in the winter it might, I don't know, but even riding it never got colder than 165, which is perfect. That's fine. That's about the coldest you want it to get. So this means when I'm out in the dunes or I'm out climbing hills, this thing's probably not going to get hotter than 175, 180 degrees, which is perfect, and not get any colder than 165, which is also perfect. So yeah, basically I've turned this this motorcycle engine into something more reminiscent of a street, either a street motorcycle or a car, basically, because they're all thermostatically regulated. And that should help keep my top ends around a little longer, and it'll definitely keep it from cold seizing, which is what happened right here. I know my garage is a mess, but yeah, basically what happened is the cylinder contracted, piston stayed hot. There you go. Boom. So that should not happen anymore, and I should be able to hold it wide open throttle, go as fast as I want. And well, once the motor's broken in, I still haven't broken in the motor completely, so I haven't really given her all she's got. But yeah, so you guys out there who own KTMs that are removing yours, you're retarded. Get bigger radiators. You should not. There's a reason KTM puts thermostats on there, and it's to keep their top ends around longer. That way you don't have a bunch of expansion and contraction and from a unregulated cooling system. So yeah, and you 426 guys out there, you can buy the KTM ones, but they have a bypass, so it requires a little bit more plumbing. But either way, I highly recommend adding a thermostat, especially if you live in colder areas. I live in an area where it gets pretty darn cold, and I just don't want to. Too much cooling is not is a bad thing. It's not good. So yeah, that's why I added a thermostat. Had overcooling problems. It's working great now. It keeps it, like I said, between 165 and 180. And yeah, so go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And again, remember, if you know what this is off of, if you recognize this thermostat housing, please leave me a comment down below. Thank you. And have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. See ya.